Hello, everybody. This is Mr. Deadman, and today we have an interview with Made in DNA. Gritty, unadulterated, unapologetic writer. He has different short stories, novellas. I mean, pretty much if you are easily offended, you do not want to read his material. In fact, if you're easily offended, I don't even understand why you're here, because Deadman's Tome lately has been publishing some really not edgy for the sake of edgy, but some really harsh content. So I would take it at this point, no one that reads Deadman's Tome is going to be the type that would be like, ooh, he's talking about kaiju porn? Ooh, he's talking about Godzilla's penis? Ooh, what's going on here? Bukkake Brawl. Oh, that's such a fucking porn. This guy has too much, like too much time on his hands. He delves into fetishes, all this stuff. Sex punk. That's cyber futuristic stuff. What have it. This guy tackles it. And though it's not necessarily horror, the dark and edgy and grittiness of his stories, it fits right well with talking about on Deadman's Tome. So without further ado, let's see if the man himself thinks his introduction was good enough for him.
Oh, fantastic! Thanks for having me. It's a great pleasure to be on your show.
No, it's no problem, no problem. And I normally don't do this thing super early in the morning. I have to say it was kind of a slow start because I didn't get much sleep last night. See, I made the mistake of doing a video on Ouija boards the night before, and I was haunted by a little Japanese girl. I don't know why it was Japanese, because I was like, that's pretty far from Japan, but she was there.
This end of this. Yeah, she was coming from this end.
Yeah. She knew I was going to be in contact with someone in Japan, and she was like, I guess, trying to freak me out.
Yeah, I was. It's 8 a.m. here right now. Excuse me, 8 p.m. here right now, and for anyone who doesn't know, it's interviews like this are really hard to time. Being on it. This side of the earth, the time can vary like 15 hours to anyway, like 17 hours, and New York would be like really the hardest to get in contact with, and anyone on the West Coast, like California, is really easy to get a hold of. But my parents live in the Midwest, and even I, it's like, oh, if it'd just been 1 hour earlier or later, we could have.
Huh. Yeah, see, but I'm pretty crazy on this. I wanted to get this done because, like I think I asked before, I don't even know how our paths crossed or anything, but I don't know. Ever since I guess found you through someone who knew you on Facebook, and I read some of your material, I was like, man, this guy is really awesome. He has good material out there. I like it. Just a brief moment of shilling. Remember, you can support the site we got Deadman T-shirt. Oh, that's Made in DNA stuff right there.
Okay.
We got Horgasm is a new anthology that's coming out. Pre-orders are available, and we have the Deadman's Tome Book of Horrors. So
sweet, pick them up, folks. Pick them up.
All right, here's Made in DNA's page. As you can tell, he has quite a bit of work.
Most of it's short story.
Yeah, most of it are short stories. I think I made a mistake of saying that a novel. I Red Sky at Morning is not a novel, but
right, yeah, Red Sky comes in at about 6,000 words. It actually was going to be longer, but it was up for. I put it up in an anthology, and it didn't make the cut, unfortunately. But that's okay. Thank you, sweetie. Sorry, telephone downstairs, okay. I guess.
I know how it is with kids, man. My kid might be waking up pretty soon anyway.
Just be nice, okay? Okay. Are you okay? All right.
See, what it is you put on like the kung fu like anime stuff, and they just like get all violent, man. Don't you know like violent media causes violence?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Yeah. I'm out there every day killing people. I just on sight.
I know, right? Because Well, my family introduced me to Doom at the age of 5, and ever since then I've been going taking chainsaws to people. You know.
Oh, oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about your work. So Red Sky at Morning. Let me get this straight. An outsider investigates horrific murders of children in the F-storm scored wastelands of northeastern Japan. This is an original dystopian cyberpunk Cthulhu story. Um, that sounds something I would definitely post on this site.
Yeah, it was originally, like I said, I originally submitted it to a cyberpunk Cthulhu anthology. There were a lot of excellent entries. I read the book after it was published. Mine didn't make the cut, unfortunate. I had planned it to be longer, probably around 10,000 words, but I had to cut it to about 6. And so, you know, it is what it is, and I like it, but I have been thinking about trying to expand it, and I took it to publisher here in Japan after we had translated it into Japanese, and they wanted to see, you know, they thought the same thing, you know, there could have been some changes, or if it had been longer, it would have been better. So, but it has, people have told me they do like it, so, you know, it gets a few good reviews now and then.
Yeah, I'm reading the reviews right now. You got a 4-star review, Cthulhu meets Blade Runner. 5-star review, excellent Lovecraftian fiction. And these don't look like fake accounts. So no. That's good stuff.
No, I think everyone, all authors and independent authors do try to give out reading copies now and then, and I do too. But everyone's welcome to write whatever they want. I try not to give them to friends, because they're just going to write, "Hey, that was great, thanks, Bob."
Yeah.
So,
yeah, without even reading it. You give it to your mom. Your mom's gonna be like, "Oh, he's such a talented writer. He's
sweet, honey." So, yeah.
My boy, he writes all the crazy things, but he's just so talented.
Yeah, I try to solicit by going to, like, say, Facebook groups, or of science, people who like science fiction, people like cyberpunk, or people who like in this case Cthulhu. And I say, is there anyone out there who wants a free copy? Anyone today who wants one can get one, and and I let it go at that. I don't contact them after that. I gave away probably 20 copies of Bukkake Brawl in one day, and I think I got 2 reviews. So, and none of them were people I knew.
That's good.
But then I started seeing people in the FB group going, "Hey, I read this, but I don't have an Amazon account." I was like, "No, okay, okay, we know why you took the book."
Yeah,
that's good. They enjoyed it. That's enough for me.
Hey, at least you got that feedback one way or another.
Yeah,
I mean, authors love that. I mean, authors love that their feedback.
Feedback is awesome. Seriously, leave feedback, please.
One thing I encourage a lot on Deadman's Tome. I don't know if you really looked at the site much, but I really encourage community engagement, or just people just to comment on stories and talk about it, because authors love that they like that. Yeah, it's a little stroke of the ego. But it's more than that. It's like, what we wrote, what we put out there, not only is it being read, but I get an understanding of how people gauge it, what they think of it. Not necessarily to cater to them, but to see if, because when I write something, when you write something, it's like we have an idea. We put it out on paper, we create this world, create these characters, and to us, it meets what we're looking for. But that might not come across to others,
Yeah.
Because we're blinded by our own biases and what have you. What's paralytic orgasm?
Paralactic orgasm, yeah. Excuse me, I'm going to turn on my power here.
It's okay.
Paralactic Orgasm is a collection of 6 short works that I was just looking to get out another book. I hadn't put one. I think the last one before that was maybe Bukkake Brawl, which had been out in 2010. So I was thinking, oh, I need, get some new stuff out there, new material out there. And work that I had written probably from 2012 through 2014. It's just 6 short stories.
6 short stories. We're looking at Jizenbauer, Heavenly Kiss.
Yeah, most of them were, I'd say so transhuman, far future kind of sci-fi, as well as cyberpunk. And again, I kept the gritty feeling to it because that's what I like. I'm big on the snow crash and neuromancer kind of no holds barreds fiction. And in fact, Jizenbauer is free online, so people can check it out if they want. I think I've got a link somewhere I can throw up.
Oh yeah, I can put that link in the description box, and all that on the site too. All right, so how would you describe your writing style?
First and foremost, I write for myself, and I like to write.
So you're not trying to be edgy for the sake of edgy.
No, I could care, and I mean, I'm edgy. For me, that's what I like. I like that dark, gritty feel. I to be honest, I really, the 90s was hell for me because I hate singing animals and Disney. I'm sorry. I'm not a fan of Disney. And that's cool. People who love Disney, hey, love Disney. That's good. I can't stand it. My kids love Disney. I watch Disney with them. I grit my teeth, but when animals start singing, so it just naturally grates on me, like maybe edgy cyberpunk grates on other people. Where my muse is, if you will.
Okay. Yeah. So instead of singing animals and all that, it was about sex brawlers, bukkake brawlers.
That was, it's funny. I had just come off of working at a company, and at that time in Japanese pornography, they were doing the sex fighting, sort of, if you will.
Sex fighting. I think that's a thing here as well.
I don't know what they call it. What they call it in the UK and the States. I've seen it in 2 girls go into a ring and they'll wrestle each other until one of them defeats the other and they go at it. Here, to be honest,
it's hard for me to take. Maybe this is because I'm a misogynistic asshole. I don't know, but it's hard for me to take like 2 girls fighting seriously without thinking, are they gonna start fingering each other now? Like, what's going on here? Like, now I want to watch UFC fighters like when they grapple and start like getting tight and close. I'm just like, this is kind of erotic. If you think about it in a weird, perverse way. But the same token, I don't know if you ever watched UFC, but whenever the dudes are grappling, that's usually when I'm like, this is kind of gay. Like, these 2 dudes in like underwear are just grappling each other. Like,
well, it's all an act, of course, but sometimes I was never a sports guy myself. I never got into it. I was the skinny, scrawny, nerdy kid. So
I grew up on the NES.
Yeah,
I grew up on the NES. Yeah, I was pretty scrawny myself at times.
So yeah, Bukkake Brawl there was that kind of pornography, which I was working with that company on, everything from pornography to candy. But
that's a pretty diverse market right there.
Yeah, you know, and they had everything, toys and magazines and
Did the
books.
families that bought the toys for the kids know that that company was also in pornography?
Yeah, yeah. Um, so, but anyway, I moved on to a different job because I'd gotten married. I'd moved to a whole different prefecture in Japan,
Hmm.
and uh, and it just I was looking for Twitter had just become a thing, and I was looking for an outlet, uh, and I thought, well, why not just just let my muse flow, and so I created an account and just wrote whatever came to mind. And I think I was really heavily influenced by that pornography. I reviewed a lot of it. I sat hour. I literally would zip through. I would put
You,
an 8 hour
oh,
DVD on fast forward. Oh, okay, yeah, okay. There's a
wait.
thing. There's a
You reviewed the pornography like as a job, like you had to like
yeah,
review it, or you just studied it?
I no. I was writing reviews, writing reviews and product descriptions.
How do you write a review on sex fighting?
Well, well, there is a kind of a formula you follow. You've got to. I mean, people want their well, we didn't call it SEO at the time, back in 2003,
Uh,
but there were words that oh, there's some finger banging. There's and we would use some Japanese words and English words, and sometimes
gonna
even
finger
English
bang
words that
bang you.
to end up teaching people who were coming to buy the products what it meant, so that they knew next time, oh, that's what I'm looking for. I like that. And a description really isn't that long because no one's really interested in reading, a page
No, they want
of
to watch it.
yeah. They want to yeah, they want to.
Like,
Oh, there's this, and this. So you list the starlets. You list the type of activity, sexual activity that there is, and you kind of spice it up. You make it sound like you know, Joe Frazier goes in with a left.
so Bukkake Brawl takes
Yeah,
that
yeah,
and runs with it, takes it to an extreme in this futuristic cyberpunk. Because like it's set in a setting where people have like cybernetic enhancements. It's like
yeah.
it's crazy. It's like it's hard to tell who's human and who's not because
There's all kinds of inhabitants and denizens there. Um, I did I You've got clones. You've got uh, uh, sorry. You've got people who have become robots or
you have
cyber. Not
you
really
have a
cyber.
transgender robot.
Pardon me.
Don't you have like a transgender robot?
Yes, exactly. A man had digitized his brain and became a female robot. So, this was, back in 2006, and people were like, this is wild, and I'm thinking now, wow, this is real.
Yeah.
This is today. I'm not saying I predicted or anything like that. That's the way it went.
I think Japan is pioneering in the whole realm of robots, especially sex robots. So if any country has any developments in this, it's definitely gonna be Japan, and that's a
Some
game
of the
changer right
best,
there. I
some of
mean,
the
if men could
best
just have
dolls.
like sex bots,
Yeah, they're
why
coming.
even go outside?
They're coming. I've seen the real, like, for example, say, talking of sex dolls, I've seen the real dolls in the U.S. I think they're from the U.S. and they're pretty darn good. But I'll tell you what, some of I went to a factory in Chiba, and these dolls, man, I've heard people, oh, I'd never fuck a doll.
I would have put it past me.
You would fuck a doll so fast if you were that close to these. These were primo. Everyone makes fun of, oh, look at the fat loser who's never had a girlfriend. He's got, 5 fuck dolls. Dude, if you saw these dolls, you'd fuck them. I
Yeah.
kid you not. These
It,
dolls are supreme.
Motorboat, those fake titties and everything.
Yet you can. They're incredibly posable, and yeah, they are. They're not real women. That's not what they're
No.
supposed to be. They're, as they're replacements for those who don't.
In the
Damn.
conversation that brings up, I'm sorry, I was gonna say in the conversation that brings up, sometimes with women, it's like they've had sex toys for the longest, and it's like don't talk about it because like you don't understand, or that's our thing because you don't really get us off. But now we have the option to offer toys and whatever, and it's like, oh, then you hate women. It's like, whoa, wait a second, don't be jealous now. We're all playing games with ourselves.
So I guess, yeah, we're all playing with ourselves is right. It's right. And there's nothing like pure love than love with yourself.
Yeah,
Um,
you gotta love yourself before you can love others.
oh,
That's a
and
fact.
that is a fact, dead fact. If you don't love yourself, you're not going to have a healthy relationship with anyone at all. We've all met those people who, all they can do is bitch and moan about everything that goes on in their life. You're like, geez, dude, wow, take a chill pill. And that's exactly what, that is love with, themselves. And I'm not talking masturbation. I'm just talking liking yourself as a human being. So,
Yeah. All
but
right.
yeah, I have sex toys, if we're going to have them for women, and yeah, I'm sure probably, men first created this system for, just like men created the bra and all kinds of stuff, all the corset and all that crap for ladies, and all the terrible BS that we've shackled them with.
Oh,
Um,
all the terrible stuff we shackled on, like the high heel shoes that they continue to want to wear and market it on themselves. It's crazy. It's like the patriarchy created the trap. They're the ones that just keep on. I
Certainly,
don't know,
people.
they keep it alive. If they really are like, ooh, patriarchy, they would stop wearing bras. They would stop wearing high heels. They would not do that.
Yeah, as
Um,
far as I'm
and
concerned, I think people, should do what they like. If you like these sex toys, use them. If you don't like the sex toys, use them. But what we shouldn't be doing is talking about other people's sex toys. That's
oh no, in Bukkake Brawl, it's in the realm where we're like this stuff is possible and beyond. Like we're talking about now. You said is inspired by sex fighting. That was popular in Japan, but now the sex fighting that's in this is like stuff that probably isn't going to be legal anytime in the future. When
no,
we're talking about full on like hordes of jackals going in, like and naked. And the game is like to try to like get that sweet spot, right? Just try to put it
yeah,
in or try to, and
right.
she has to
So,
fight them off.
right. The whole that's just it. It's not something fun. These
No,
women they're slaves. They're slaves. They become enslaved
they are. They are.
through um, putting themselves in debt, and that's, speaks to this dystopian society, and the, you know parents
And not only are
selling
they
their
in debt.
children off, and these are not things that we don't see right now.
Mhm.
um
Oh yeah, yeah. People put themselves in debt
so,
just to fight. Just
right. I ramped it up. I made them slaves, and you know what I you know I, what's frightening is that I wouldn't be surprised, because what are there what I think there are, 10 million people who are currently enslaved on the planet in some way, in the sex trade mostly. And I wouldn't be surprised if you'd see something like, we have dog fighting. Why wouldn't they have people beating each other up for money?
oh, I'm pretty sure underground there's all sorts of stuff going on. I'm pretty sure there is a
And all I did was took that idea and decided to make it, what if this were the ultimate sport?
mhm.
You know, what would one woman do to get out?
And that's the thing. So we talk about all this stuff, and it's very easy for, let's say, a rad feminist, or not to get too political on this, but You know, it's very easy to be like, man, sounds like two white misogynistic assholes talking about a story where a woman has to fight off rape. What's going on here? But I read it, okay, and I know that it doesn't. It's not misogynistic. I mean, like the main character herself, like her, she's trying to get out, like the environment maybe. But I mean, what would you say to someone who's like, oh, this author's a misogynist?
Well, look, there's plenty that people can say, and if you're going to judge me by my books, then there's nothing I can do, because that's that's what you're boiling me down to, just that. And nobody is just that. Are we to believe that, say, Neil Gaiman believes in fairies because that's what he writes about? Uh, I just, if people want to know who I am, they can contact me. I always, I have just about every way you can contact me in my books, as well as I have 4 million Twitter accounts and 2 Facebook accounts, and I'm a little bit of a social media nut. I don't overly promote myself, though. I just like to chit chat. Um, I try not to get too political, but I have a few touch button subjects, such as the murder of children. Really, really, really pushes my button.
Understandable.
Every time I hear something, I'm like, it drives me nuts. Police brutality also gets me going, but but being the brother of a police officer, the killing of police also gets me too.
Oh yeah, and that's the last thing that's going to help your
This is
cause.
really rough for me.
It is a rough time. It is a rough time. It's like I understand. I get we'll kind of creep into Black Lives Matter stuff. I kind of just say I kind of understand why. I mean, black people would be angry and be like, we see this police brutalities, these shootings, but at the same time, going around now, they themselves as an organization, they're not like organized to that degree, but they go around and say like, what do we want? We want dead cops. We want it now. And like some crazy motherfuckers like, you know what? Let's go ahead and fucking do that shit. And they start doing it. And that's the last thing that's gonna help you. Let's see, these cops react in this way because what they're fear of their lives. So what you want to do is make them more fearful of their lives. Great, because that's gonna fucking help.
There are definitely extremes on both sides.
Yeah.
And those are the cases we hear about the most. Of course, we don't see the very often the police officers who play basketball with the kids.
Yeah, we don't see the good. We don't see the good guys.
We don't.
The
We don't.
media's not gonna talk about the good guys.
We don't see the stories about people who take drinks or blankets or whatever to the police officers when after something happens. We hear about the death and the mayhem because that's news. That's what drives the media organizations.
And we could say it's part of the
I
media, like the media like wants it because it sells or it's easy to market. People want to tune to that. I was just thinking now in the same way.
Puppy dogs when you can read about someone dead found in a river.
Yeah, exactly.
And I do. My books also have a sensationalist angle. You can't write fiction.
I was going to get into that. I was like,
you're
not going to write about Lion King or Simba.
Right. I'm anti-gun. I'm anti-gun violence. But I have guns in my way.
As an American and as a Texan, sir, you can get the fuck out. Oh, wait, you're in Japan. So I'm a Texan. I don't even own a gun. I own fake guns. Whatever.
My kids have fake guns, you know, and I don't have a problem with them, you know, shooting the windows. They point them at each other, and that's where we kind of draw lines. You know, don't point. And I often talk to them about what a real gun can do, and it kind of, you know, it's shocking. We don't let them watch violent Hollywood action movies because you know, we really think it would honestly shock them. It would honestly just kind of blow them away. They're still, you know,
but that's kind of disappointing. I mean, you will, like, I would imagine, indoctrinate them into like the '80s action flicks eventually.
Of course.
Because I see a huge inspiration behind that. Like, when I read BUKKAKE BRAWL, I was thinking, what is it? Escape from New York, Escape from LA, like some crazy '80s future, man.
I'm a huge Carpenter fan. I'm a huge. I just watched Strange Things.
I need to watch that.
Oh man, absolutely wonderful. Yeah, I'm absolutely up. I've got my Blu-rays ready to show the kids. I think they're ready. Yeah,
Sorry. I was gonna say a good takeaway also from what you said earlier was that you know, if someone who's a radical feminist, maybe an SJW, whatever, would criticize your work, because I could see how they could, you know, be like, man, this guy's very sexualized and all this stuff. But like I said before, you don't write to be edgy for the sake of edgy. You write for you. So if they have a problem with it, then they're really just talking about your work you created and not really you yourself. People often have the stereotype that what you write is a product of you and says something about you. And maybe to an extent it does.
Sure.
I mean, it did come from, you know, your mind. However, it's not like that. I don't know. It's not like that's cliche where, oh my God, I have like problems, like psychological problems. I'm just writing it out on paper or writing it out into my story. Like what do you see in the story? It's my mental breakdown, you know, like that cliche, like.
Oh, sorry.
Got it.
You know, was it Asimov who said that, or maybe it was Sagan, I don't remember which of the two, said that, you know, we take our life's experiences and we write about them, but that you know, the people around us and everything in our world, and he's correct. We do use our life experience. We do use what happens to us, but yeah, that's not to say that I run around in a gritty dystopian world. What that means, I've walked down streets in Japan that are, you know, right now, or even 10, 15 years ago. I've been in Japan for 18 years now. I've been off and on in Japan for the last almost 25 years now. What that means is I've walked down a street and I've lived that Blade Runner walk down the street. I've seen that and I've envisaged that. And then I just, you know, I put the characters in and, you know, maybe they speak like this person, or maybe they talk like that person, or they look like that person. Or
I mean, I'm running a horror magazine.
I'm sure you have.
So I have plenty of content where I'm like, this can't be a product of their life, because I should probably report that to the authorities. But
yeah. But you've imagined, you've had that scary night as a child, wondering what's under your bed or what's in your closet, and your imagination is going wild. It's the same exact thing as that. It's just putting it on paper and sharing it.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
All I want to do is, yeah, I write for me, but I also share it. If I wrote completely for me, I would never release it.
Yeah.
So the truth is, I write for me, say 90% of the time, and I write the rest of the 10% is to release it to see, does it get a reaction? And I'll be honest, I am the worst marketer in the world. I think my mom has bought copies of BUKKAKE BRAWL that have been sold. I think every once in a while she goes, "Oh, Brett needs a little click," you know. Thanks, Mom. Other than that, I'm not sure who's buying my books. I do get people who like yourself who will say, "Hey, I bought your book," or "Wow, I read your stuff." And I'm like, really?
The hardest part of Bukkake Brawl was trying to write a review that I was like, man, because it's all done in tweets, like every line's like a tweet, and I was like, sometimes I get lazy, and I'm like, man, I don't really feel like writing like a whole 2-page thing on this, because besides, it's done in tweets. I'm gonna do something short, so that's why the review came off kind of short and simple, but it was a very enjoyable story. And the whole laziness wasn't a thing of you; it was a thing of me. Like full-time job, doing other things. At that point, I'm just like, man, I want to do this, but I don't. Besides, when I read a review, I just want to know, is it good? Am I gonna like it? I don't really need to know like.
I look at the bad reviews first usually.
Okay.
Like when I'm gonna buy a book, I'll go, what did the people have to say? And usually what you find are probably 50% of our, I couldn't get this book to work. Bad review. Oh, okay.
I had that too. The early days of the Tome, I didn't really know how Kindle would do its thing. Oh yeah, so some of it didn't really work right, and they're like, oh, you even know it doesn't work. Like, well, like, but you can read it, right?
I have still a lot of work to do on my indexes. I have 0 indexes in my work. I'm sure probably people are really pissed about that. Hey, this motherfucker makes me actually go through the book to get there.
Yeah, I think I'm starting to get a handle of it. I'll see how people react when they start giving me reviews on the Book of Horrors. Okay, you just finished your latest novel or novella?
It is a novella at 23K unedited, 23,000 words unedited. No.
It is called
Rodzilla Resurgence.
Rodzilla Resurgence. Yeah, you heard that correctly. Not Godzilla Resurgence, but Rodzilla Resurgence. Now, from what I understand, this is like kaiju porn. Is that correct?
Straight up. That's all. That's all it is.
And
it is 50-foot tall monsters fucking each other.
Those that are like, what the fuck? It's exactly, yeah. That's what we're talking about. This. As soon as I heard kaiju porn, I was like, this is great. You could do so much with this. So.
Yeah,
tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, I don't remember why on earth I started this project. Godzilla was coming out, the new Godzilla film, and I don't know, maybe I was just being saucy or I was drunk or something. I don't know. I have about 4 or 5 projects sitting on the back burner waiting to get finished. Literally, some of them are finished. They're just waiting. The artist is waiting for me to give him a title to put on the cover. Literally. And so as soon as I finish this, I'm gonna pump out about 2 or 3 more projects within the next month. So yeah, which I could have finished a month earlier if I hadn't done this. It just came about me goofing around, and I wrote it just in the month. It was originally going to be around 8,000 words, and now it's 23,000 words. I love Godzilla. I've loved Godzilla since I was a kid. The King Kong grabbing him and whipping him around by his tail, or
I'm hoping my son will get into Godzilla. I really am. Yeah, I try to get him to watch not the best example of kaiju fighting, but Pacific Rim, just because it has monsters and fighting. But he'll watch the very beginning of it, which is like, okay, it starts off all right. I mean, it starts off with a battle, okay, but then even in the middle, he was like, this is boring. Yeah. Like, yeah, it does get boring in the middle. lately, I kind of use him as a gauge whether or not a movie is like entertaining or not. Because like, if he doesn't hold his interest, he just walks around. It's like, man, this is terrible. Like, you can't even hold a kid's interest. But so I'm super excited. How his reaction is going to be whenever I show him like legitimate anime kaiju mechs. You know, right now he's not really like, for some reason the anime doesn't really hold his attention. It doesn't really get him. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I
He's only
have the
two right now.
opposite problem. My
Hmm?
kids watch a lot of anime because, well, not, you know, it's funny. It's not actually because, well, it is because we're in Japan, but not because it's necessarily on TV all the time. It's, you know, you'd be surprised. There is a lot of anime on TV, but just, you know, it's not like we used to have growing up, like say Saturday morning cartoons.
Hmm.
They don't have that here. Um,
Hmm.
they have it, in,
I
you
don't
know,
even have Saturday cartoons anymore here either.
you know, it's more like kind of like the 3:30 Scooby Doo thing that, you know, we had when we were growing up. But they love renting DVDs, and they have their favorite couple of series they watch religiously. So it's really hard to get them to watch anything live. I'm like, God, you know, Godzilla or Tron and I'm just kind of, I met with these like, really, Dad? So I hear you. I'm
Now,
trying. They're
on the
coming around a little bit. They're coming around a little bit.
yeah, now on the Godzilla Resurgence, or sorry, Rodzilla Resurgence. Sorry, Rodzilla Resurgence. Now, for me, I don't know about you, but like as soon as you mentioned that was kaiju porn, I was like, you know what? Whenever you see Godzilla, you never see his big flopping dick and balls, because as a big giant monster, he must have it. Like you know, when they show you drawings of dinosaurs, the museum of dinosaurs, they don't show how their undercarriage looks. You know, I'd imagine it'd be kind of freaky looking. It'd have to be, right? And then
Hey,
so where are these monsters engaging in these crazy orgies at?
well, you know, I was like, if when I first started, where am I going to put this? Where is it going to be set? Is it going to be, you know, they stomping through the cities? And I looked at some of my early notes, and I think I actually did have them kind of stomping through cities.
That's what
But
I thought. That's what I thought was gonna happen. I was like,
when I
man,
started
the
writing it,
house needs to be teabagged by Godzilla.
and I wish there is a city battle. However, unfortunately, um, I took it to Monster Island, is what I did
Okay, I
with,
mean that's a good start.
because I wanted lots of monsters, and I thought, where can I get all these monsters? Oh, Monster Island. I
Monster
didn't
Island.
want Monster Island, of course, but uh, I decided that that would probably be the best place to have them kick ass on each other. Um,
Any bystanders? Any people just kind of watching?
oh yeah. We've got circle jerks. We've got him
Circle
on it.
jerk.
We got circle jerking. We
So,
got
so, so people are filming Godzilla and Mothra,
mhm,
like getting it
mhm.
on and putting it on
Well,
YouTube, or not YouTube, YouPorn.
yeah,
That's
we've
cool.
got um, we've got female on female, male on male. We've got a futanari in there. We've
And,
got
and I
giant.
imagine that like Godzilla and Mothra or Gojira, they wouldn't it wouldn't be like intimate, passionate. It would be like raw and hard and fucking
It,
crazy.
well, the whole when I do it, I have this concept as sex as battle. Okay, sex as war, if you will, and he
So here we go again with the sex porn.
who orgasms first loses. It's like a tug of war, you know.
And what's the penalty?
Well, the penalty is could be anything from death.
Death.
Yeah, death, dismemberment. In Rodzilla Resurgence, I didn't go as far as getting gory like that. There's only one, two, three deaths out of probably 7 or 8 fight fuck scenes.
I like that. 7 or 8
So
5 scenes.
right.
And you got to catch the readers in the opening, right?
Oh yeah, I got Godzilla fucking a whale in the mouth, face fucking a whale is what I have.
Godzilla space fucking well. See, this is great.
Use it like a fleshlight.
Whenever you watch like monster movies, kaiju movies, like you never get to see, you know, like you never get to see them like do other things, meet their other basic needs that they have to have. I mean, these are huge monsters, freaks of nature.
Yeah, what are they all doing on Monster Island with each other? You know,
exactly. Like
they're not on.
Like, so I know it doesn't take place in Tokyo. It's not taking place in a major city, but that could be your sequel if you do a sequel. Imagine, see,
I did leave it open for that.
Because what Tokyo gets messed up left and right by Godzilla, each and every time. So it's like, and they're always fighting. But what if it wasn't like Godzilla was actually fighting or trying to destroy buildings? It's just that he just met up with Mothra and was like, it's time to fuck, and they're just fucking, and it's like, so it was just collateral damage at that point.
Did you imagine all the window washing they'd have to do after?
Oh man, stuff would be spraying everywhere. It'd be like semen everywhere.
Juices everywhere.
Spunk. It would be like a Tokyo bukkake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did set it up for a sequel. Like I said, in this book there is one, the one city fight scene. What I did was, when I was writing it, I thought to myself, you know what? I've already actually written a 2,500 word short, I guess, is that flash fiction story about a kind of an Ultraman superhero character who's a guy who puts on a suit and grows 50 foot tall and takes on monsters.
Yeah.
I had already written that for was it Quarter Reads. Have you ever heard of Quarter Reads? They're a flash fiction site where you pay 25 cents for a short story. They're some kind of subscription thing, if you will.
Okay.
They turned me down. They were like, well, we really like your work, but we're going to be opening here real soon. We don't think we want to push erotica just yet. I was like, all right, okay, no problem. I got no problem with that. And people, a lot of people will first say, oh, we really want your stuff. And then they go, well, maybe not. Okay. I'm not going to cry over it.
We're a little afraid that your content might be too much.
Pardon me?
We're a little afraid that your content might be too much. That's one thing I have yet to say to anyone, and I'm really trying. I think I'm going to do a challenge. I think that'll be my next thing, a challenge to see who can give me the most, I guess, the darkest, grittiest content.
By the way, I have something for you then. Not work for you necessarily, but I will actually. I'll join in that too. But there is, I don't know if I should speak about it here, but it's an open. There's an open horror call for what is it? It's called Ladies in Red.
Okay.
And it's no holds barred, as long as the women come out powerful. And so I thought that's right up your alley.
I wrote a short story that was no hold barred and crazy, and the woman was definitely powerful. The woman's vagina devoured a man.
I think they want to kind of steer clear, but yeah, well, that's all right. There, gore and death and dismemberment is all open. So I thought I don't do horror much. Oops, I don't do horror much. I got attacked.
It was a fly that was going to have like.
Yeah, he's like, I heard what you have. I want to me right now. But I thought that it sounds very, very. It sounds interesting, and spin that, and then take a ride with yours too.
All right. So what's the best kaiju battle?
Oh, I think my best kaiju battle in this one has.
Does Mechagodzilla have a dildo on his head?
No,
like a dildo drill bit thing.
That would have been a good one. I didn't do Mechagodzilla. I have Poonthra, Puntulu, Puntulu,
Puntulu.
Twatra, right?
Okay.
Jagoff,
Okay.
King Dong.
He just slaps Godzilla with his cock.
Ang, is it Angularis? Is that the one where he's got the spikes on his back? I call him
Yeah, I think so.
Analrillis. I can't even pronounce it. It's in the book.
Okay, okay.
I guess.
Okay, you really do now need to write a sequel. I hope Godzilla Resurgence sells like crazy. To encourage you if you need the encouragement, because
So,
imagine this. Imagine this. So they hear about what happened at Monster Island. Now these monsters are coming to Tokyo to have a fuck fest. Somehow, someone I guess put some I don't know. Somehow they're attracted. They want to go there. Okay. I don't know, hormones or what have you. But to counter that, Tokyo has this plan to create a mechanized Godzilla, a mechanized Rodzilla that has a dildo drill bit on its head, or what have you. It's designed like a sex machine for Godzilla to keep him sedated, keep him calm, so that way he doesn't go crazy anymore. There you go.
That's it, right there.
That's
I
fucking
can
crazy.
I could use it as an interlude to this the second the true sequel, if you will.
Oh, what's the true sequel?
Story interlude with that. Maybe someone evil in Tokyo doesn't want. See, what I have right now in the first story is I have the monsters forming an allegiance to fend off. Oh, maybe I shouldn't say it. This is kind of the ending.
Okay. All right. You don't want to get off the ending.
I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to give it away. Yeah, there's something big. I could do a sequel if I wanted to. Right now, I'm tired. I don't want to work Godzilla if I don't have.
Maybe, I don't know if I could tackle a kaiju project. It seems pretty massive. But maybe one day I can. Maybe from listening, there'll be an author or two that'll be like, you know what, I'll be interested in do like a spin-off or something. I don't know. I'll lead them. I'll direct them to you if that happens. Okay. So we're almost about to wrap up, but what's So you don't write much horror, but do you read much horror?
It depends on the horror. I do like Stephen King.
He's a go-to classic. I think just about everybody likes him. His content.
He's very cross-genre. So it's not just horror. But I'll tell you what, I never got into horror movies like Friday the 13th, or I've seen them. I just, Nightmare on Elm Street, just not my thing, I guess. But, I have read a lot of horror. And we were talking about Bizarro. And this is how we were able to really, I think this is where probably our connection was on Facebook, is Bizarro.
Okay.
A lot of Bizarro touches on horror because, go back to Franz Kafka, who created the genre, with Metamorphosis.
Yeah, Metamorphosis. That book was a trip.
Would that be if you woke up?
That book was a trip, man. I mean, like, it was in the perspective of the guy who turned into a roach, and but a huge roach. He had to have been huge because the guy threw an apple at him and it stayed embedded in his back. Like, that doesn't happen if you're not a huge roach. So Kafka had a monster. He had a roach kaiju. He just didn't really capitalize it. That's weird.
No, he took, it's very, very it's literature. It really is. It's but the world of Bizarro, a lot of the fiction of Bizarro is horror. It's horrific. And he's like, oh, really? Fucking A. And, that's where kind of, Bukkake Brawl and my work kind of fit in too. A lot of the good folks in the Bizarro community have, welcomed my work quite openly. And, it's really made me happy. So accepting.
Okay. Okay. Well,
So I read a lot of bizarro horror. if you will.
bizarro horror, but that's great. You know what? And we'll probably start receiving more of that sort of content on Deadman's Tome.
And I'll pick up Horrorgasm here real quick. You said it's on pre-order right now?
Yeah, it's on pre-order. It's on pre-order.
Pick it up.
Try to spread the word of that. Spread it out like a pimp. Have her go out. All right, man. Well, it's been great talking to you. It's been great sharing your projects. I hope Godzilla Resurgence goes crazy.
I appreciate it. Same with Horrorgasm. I hope it just blows everyone.
I'm sure it will. The Horrorgasm's coming. It's coming, whether you like it or not. You just get ready. That's all you have to do. Just get ready. Just get ready and have that face. We're so bad. We're so fucking bad.
Awesome.
All right, man. Well,
thanks.
You take it easy, man.
You too. Take care, everyone. Goodbye from Japan.
Bye.